Hello everyone, my name is Nilsor and welcome to my vault. Today on Fallout New Vegas 101 we are going to take a look at the history of Caesar's Legion. The Legion is a huge slave army that expands its territory in 2281 from northern Arizona to southwestern Utah. It obeys a strict hierarchy with Caesar as the sole owner of every single member in it. Men are the only ones allowed to fight if they are able, whereas women are used as a support group and are looked down upon with frequent misogynistic remarks. They are considered merely more than for breeding. Also, homosexuality is punished by death. Communities in the Legion territory that are not part of its army are considered subjects and not members of it. They are enjoying a more secured land than many other places in the wasteland, mostly because of Caesar's ruthless but somehow peaceful reign and the Legion intolerance for other groups. But what they've gained in security, they have lost it in freedom, as the Legion can claim anyone or anything in a community for their army with resistance punished by death. The Legion is categorizing people as follows. People outside the Legion are called dissolute, as they are lacking the Legion upper morality. People outside and hostile towards the Legion are called profligates. Freshly captured people are named capturers, whose sole purpose is to be tasted to become a slave. If they fail, they are put to death. The slaves are slightly above capturers. Their children are taken from them and placed in the care of priestesses to format them with the Legion ideology. Slaves that are physically fit are chosen to serve in the army. Legionaries represent the bulk of the Legion society, its army. The army is divided in several groups, with its largest being the cohort, which counts 480 infantrymen. A cohort is divided into centuriae that includes 80 professional soldiers and 20 non-combatants. Centuriae are also divided in 10 contubernia. It is the squad and raiding parties level. The army is organized in ranks that are based on combat experience, which will determine your position on the battleground. Recruits are the most inexperienced and placed in the front line. Then are the prime legionaries, that also can assume the role of decanus as raid party leader. After that are the veterans who join the fight if the two previous ranks failed. Centurions are leading officers that will be found in the rear. The legate is the leader of the army and answers only to Caesar himself. This strategy leads the enemy to lose its strength against the weakest elements before being crushed by the strongest that were kept behind. There is also 3 special ranks. The Frumentari are the Legion spies and are sent to infiltrate the enemy's territory. Praetorians are Caesar's personal bodyguards. And Vexillarius is the soldier that carries the Legion flag in battle and serves as a rally point. Sacrificing your life for Caesar is considered an honor. If you failed at your task, you will most likely be punished by death. If you succeed during battle, you will gain rank. This is why being highly ranked doesn't protect you from anything, because if you fail on the battlefield, you will either die there or be put to death for failing Caesar. Discipline is the penultimate cement of the Legion, where a soldier always have to follow their superior's orders. It is both a strength and a weakness. A cohesive, disciplined army is very effective, but if the superior officers were to be killed, recruits and prime legionaries will most likely lack the necessary adaptation on the battleground to win. In terms of tactics, the Legion is using profusely hit-and-run strategies where they attack with a strong force a location, burn into the ground, then retreat before the enemy can counterattack. As for weaponry, melee weapon is the most commonly used. Firearms are permitted, but the most advanced ones are reserved for the higher ranked. The Legion excels in taking positions but are horrible at holding them because their logistic is not thought for long-term holding. The only way they are currently providing for their army with food and ammo is through raid and conquest. A tactic that won't make them last in the long run, especially since they are bent on continuing their expansion further west, which will worsen the matter. Edward Sallow, later known as Caesar, was born in 2226 near the Boneyard inside the Republic. He fled his home with his mother when raiders killed his father and took refuge within the followers of the Apocalypse. There he became a cultivated scribe, but always thought that the faction goals were naive. In 2246 he was sent in a mission with 7 others in Arizona to study the local tribes. There he met Joshua Graham. Edward looked down on the tribes as being inferior and immoral and considered a waste of time the study of their language and culture. During the expedition, he found several books about ancient Rome that completely fascinated him. This will have an important impact on him and set his course to become Caesar. In 2247, the expedition was taken hostage by a Blackfoot tribe, most likely because of mistranslation error. At the time, the tribe was at war with 7 others and was on the losing side. Edward, not wishing to die, decided against the opinion of his peers to help the tribe and taught them some warfare techniques, such as how to maintain their guns or some hit-and-run tactics. This led the tribe to make him their leader. Salo then declared himself as Caesar and as the son of Mars, the Roman god of war. Under his guidance, the tribe destroyed their weakest enemy and enslaved the survivors. When the next tribe resisted, Caesar showed to an emissary the horror of what they had done to the previous tribe, which led the second tribe to join them. Joshua Grahams decided to join Caesar as his right-hand man and became the chief of his army as Malpais's legate. His ruthlessness and inclination of using violence became legendary. After having either assimilated or destroyed the remaining 5 Blackfoot tribes, Caesar's legion was founded and was just starting its military conquest. In 2255, Flagstaff in Arizona was declared capital of the legion. As of 2271, the legion successfully assimilated 86 tribes into its fold. And in 2274, the legion was the biggest society east of the Colorado River. The first real threat the legion met was the NCR. In 2274, Hoover Dam and New Vegas were discovered by Legion scouts. Seeing those as a way of truly implement his legion in the long run, Caesar tasked his legate to take them over, starting the first Battle of Hoover Dam. First, the legion successfully made the NCR retreated, but shortly after, some snipers tactically killed a lot of legion commanding officers, deeply crippling its efficiency and cohesion. Nevertheless, Graham sent its troops in pursuit of the NCR into Boulder City. Little did he know that the city was heavily booby-trapped, which crushed a huge chunk of the Legion force when the explosions went off. The NCR then counterattacked, forcing the Legion to retreat on the east side of the dam. Defeated, Grahams returned to a furious Caesar who, as an example, made him being covered in pitch, set on fire, and then thrown in the Grand Canyon. Surprisingly, Graham survived and is now the leader of a tribe in the Zion Canyon. Legion members are forbidden to ever speak of him, while Caesar sent assassins group to take care of him, unsuccessfully. Nowadays, in 2281, the Legion has fortified the position at Fortification Hill, started slowly taking over some places in the Mojave, such as Cottonwood Cove or Nelson, and is placing its pawns in the preparation of the Second Battle of Hoover Dam. The ideals of the Legion were dictated by Caesar, who mixed ideas coming from ancient Rome with his own vision for humanity. This is why Caesar is to be pronounced like in Latin, Caesar, by members of the Legion. Caesar is said to be the son of Mars, making the worshipping of the Roman god of war the only religion tolerated in the Legion, and with that strengthening Caesar's authority. Anyone who disagrees is doing an ultimate blasphemy and is sent to his death. Only few highly ranked people are in the confidence that Caesar's ideas come from the Roman Empire. Most members think that their customs were dictated to Caesar by Mars himself. The Legion numbers are growing by brainwashing or upbringing men in the idea of serving Caesar and obeying him blindly, giving their lives for him if needed. Each conquered tribe are assimilated into the Legion by erasing their identity and replacing it by the Legion culture. This tactic was done on willful tribes and on those that thought that a promise from Caesar to leave their own culture alone will be honored. They were wrong. Caesar's idea is to take advantage of the aftermath of the Great War to unite the entire humanity under one banner and one ruler in an illuminated dictatorship. Democracy are perceived as being a tool for rich and powerful to maintain the majority of people in a state of constant irresponsibility, draining their wealth and making them ineffective. This is why if you disagree with this vision for humankind, you are perceived as merely more than an animal only out to survive. Instead, you should not fear death in order to sacrifice yourself if necessary in pursuit of a greater societal goal. This is also why medical science are forbidden except in rare cases. Technology is not banned, but looking at cautiously as Caesar firmly believes that it is what brought the Great War. Technology also tends to make people lazy and not willing to take risks with their own lives, which is why Caesar never accepted to use robots instead of men for war. Caesar believes it is his destiny to unite mankind and have people being judged on their merit. As of 2281, Caesar still doesn't see his legion as a true nation, but rather as a bunch of barbaric, nomadic tribes. He perceives the capture of New Vegas as a milestone in making it its Rome in order to transform his legion into a true militaristic, patriarchal, imperialist, autocratic, culturally homogeneous empire whose ruler holds undisputed power. Although, even if he was to succeed, the legion's inability to maintain a long-term capability in providing its land in food and ammo is what will make it crumble into pieces on its own. Also, using a personality cult around Caesar in order to unify the legion might be effective, but if he was to die, members will start to realize that they were following Caesar himself and not his ideals, looming future conflicts in the legion. On the next video, we'll go to the legion headquarters in the Mojave. Thank you for watching and see you later.